How's everyone doing today? I got a quick and easy recipe for you. Super macro friendly, really high protein, really low calorie. It's a soup. So we're using a 99% lean ground turkey. All you need is a pot like this. I like to do my sauteing in the pot as well as all of the rest of the cooking. So I got this, you got a ladle so you can scoop it after. I got some tongs just so I can kind of move it around so it doesn't burn. I'm going with 99% lean ground turkey, most macro friendly, and because we derived most of our moisture and our flavor from the actual soup broth and the seasonings, there's no reason not to. Salt, obviously, pepper. I like to use fresh parsley, but today I got dry. Either way is fine, it'll rehydrate it in the stock, doesn't matter. This is another optional thing, just a mirepoix, which is onions, celery, and carrots. It's like $2 at the store, throw it in, why not? So the secret ingredient to this soup is the fact that I'm using bone broth instead of just normal chicken broth. I like to use chicken. You can also do a poultry kind of broth. They have multiple different types of poultry, chicken, turkey, whatever. But this is 40 calories per cup, 9 grams of protein. So it's amazing. I have a couple other optional things here. We've got some bay leaves, which you can throw in just while it's warming up. And we've got a bouillon cube you can throw in if you feel like you want more flavor. I got chicken bouillon cubes here, so we'll see. I'll throw one in on this cook session here. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that if you didn't want to get the whole mix, you could just buy green onion. Like, I think one of these is like $1 and you can get like 10 recipes out of it. And then you can use olive oil, but I'm gonna show you a way to make this without any oil. I like to saute the turkey with a little bit of water. Keeps it from sticking, it doesn't change the flavor. So let's head on over to the actual stovetop and we'll get cooking. All right, so I got my little setup over here. I just got one pot on the heat here. Make sure that it's not at the hottest setting. I like to put it at about medium. And then what I like to do, instead of using oil, I'll ladle in a bit of water right as I put the turkey in, and it'll keep it from sticking, but it'll still cook the turkey, so you can save some calories right there. So I'm gonna go ahead, get a little water, and it's gonna sizzle. And then I'll put in the turkey. So while you do that, you should move it around a bit so it doesn't all stay in one spot. So pretty much you're just sauteing your ground turkey breast here the same way you would do like ground beef. Now the good thing is, if any of the turkey does stick, you're pretty much going to be deglazing it later on with the broth, so it's not a huge deal. So this whole recipe, I like to use 1 pound of turkey breast to about 4 cups of bone broth. And if you combine all that together, it's about 840 calories, about 180 grams of protein. So I like to do it in servings of about 1/4. So about 1/4 pound of turkey breast and 1 cup of the broth, and that's 1 serving. So that's about 210 calories, 45 grams of protein. You gotta stir often, so you get a good equal browning. Food basics. So once I kind of got a little bit of color on everything, I'm gonna add in some of the seasonings. So I'll go in with the salt, a little bit of ground black pepper. I usually like to use freshly ground, but we got this today. And then I got some parsley flakes here instead of the fresh stuff, but it's all good. Make it work. Just give me some Takis. So once everything kind of gets incorporated, that's when I'm gonna put in my veg. If you decide to use veggies, now's the time, because you kind of want them to also soften up a bit. Now, ground turkey is one of those things where if you really want to see some significant browning, you're probably gonna have to overcook it. So I'm not gonna let it go all the way to where it actually gets brown, but I'm gonna let it get a little bit of color, then you just go in with the broth next. Like I said earlier, 1 pound of ground turkey to 4 cups of bone broth. And that's the whole box. If you want it a little bit less rich, you can add some water to it. And if you want it a little bit thicker, you could also just let it boil off a little bit more. You can also eat this with some rice if you want some more carbs. So this is also the point where if you had bay leaves, you can add some in. I'm just gonna throw like 3 in for all my foodies out there. I'm gonna pull those out when I'm done cooking this. You definitely don't wanna get a mouth with a leaf of bay in there. Now once the broth itself starts heating up, you can add in the bouillon cube. In my opinion, this recipe is fine without it, but if you don't really like the flavor that the bone broth gives, you can throw in a bouillon cube. It'll kind of season it up a bit differently and make it a little bit saltier. All right, so it's been about 6 to 8 minutes, and I think we're ready here. You can always let it sit longer. The longer you let it sit, sometimes it'll make it taste better, but we're working with limited ingredients, so there's not too much going on here. The first thing I'm gonna do is take the bay leaves out, and I'm gonna mix it up, and it's time to ladle it. So if you're the only one eating this, you can just put in 1/4 of the recipe, and over the 4 days that you eat it, it'll all even out to the whole thing. If you're sharing it, you can do some weird stuff where you drain the meat separately, but I just eat it all myself, so. Here we go. This is about 1/4 of the recipe. And that's it, 210 calories, 45 grams of protein, super simple. When I was living in California, when I was traveling, I made this with literally just the turkey and the bone broth, mixed it up, and I ate that every day. So that's even less. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You should go ahead and try to make this.